When we are meeting someone for the first time, we are overwhelmed with information. It can be hard to work out what kind of person they are. That's why it's important to understand how we communicate. According to research, majority of what we communicate comes from body language, and less than half from the tone of voice and what we are actually saying. This means that when we meet someone new, we have to take into account these three factors, as well as to what a person's physical appearance may tell you. So if you want to gain knowledge into someone's true self when you first meet them, pay attention to the following signals. Number 1. Appearance. How someone dresses and presents themselves says a lot about them. If the person has their hair in place, their clothing pressed, and they show attention to style, they may be very detail-oriented. Someone with a more casual wardrobe or unkempt hair might be a creative type, or just messy. And then take someone who looks disheveled and stinky, they could simply be a really lazy person. Number 2. Crossed arms. Have you ever had a conversation with someone who crossed their arms while you were talking to them? If you're on a first date, or if you're trying to pitch someone a new idea, it's not a positive sign. Crossed arms is a physical barrier that suggests the other person is not open to what you're saying. Even if they're smiling and engaged in a pleasant conversation, their body language tells the story. Psychologically, crossed legs is a signal that a person is mentally and physically blocked off from what's in front of them. On the same note, the direction of someone's feet are also quite revealing. A person that likes you will have both feet facing in your direction. However, if their feet shift toward the exit, it means they've had enough of you and want to vacate. Number 3. Handshake. You can tell a lot by a person's handshake. Mushy and loose, and they are likely to be weak or submissive. Too hard and squeezing, and they are possibly the more dominant type. The length of time is also important. Too long and it's weird, but too short could indicate some form of conflict. It's possible that the person does not want to make a deep connection with you. However, it could also mean that they don't have much time. Number 4. Leaning. If a person leans in toward you, it's a clear indication that they are interested in what you have to say. What you might be aware of is that it's also a sign of respect. When people come closer and lean in toward you during a conversation, it shows that they want to confide in you. It makes you feel trustworthy and valued. If someone leans back, however, they show that they are tired of the conversation, or perhaps they feel uncomfortable for some reason. Number 5. Mirroring. If you've never tried to read people before, this is something you probably haven't noticed. However, pay close attention to it in the future, because when someone mimics your body language, it means they feel so good about you, that they want to match with you. It's a sign that the conversation is going well and that the other party is receptive to your message. This is done subconsciously, as no one walks around with the intention of outright copying someone. But when we're comfortable with people, we have a tendency to do what they do. Number 6. Posture. How someone carries themselves can give you some indications about their self-assurance. For example, if someone is walking upright with their shoulders back and looking straight ahead, that gives the indication that they feel good about themselves and have confidence. However, if someone is slouching over and looking at the ground when they walk, that gives a much different impression. It may not necessarily mean that they have low self-esteem, but that's the message it gives off. Number 7. Eye contact. They often say that the eyes are the window to the soul. The key to knowing which kind of eye contact someone is giving you is to consider the context. For example, if a person literally can't take their eyes off you, it could mean there's a romantic interest. On the other hand, when you look someone in the eye, and they can't bring themselves to look back at you, it's a sign that they're either nervous, or they've got something to hide. With that said, if you're talking with someone whose stare is making you squirm, especially if they're very still and not blinking, something is definitely up, and they may be lying to you. Number 8. Smile. When it comes to smiling, the mouth can lie, but the eyes can't. Genuine smiles reach the eyes, crinkling the skin to create crow's feet around them. People often smile to hide what they're really thinking and feeling, so the next time you want to know if somebody's smile is genuine, look for crinkles at the corners of their eyes. If they aren't there, that smile is deceptive. Number 9. Nodding. This is usually a sign that someone agrees with you. However, exaggerated nodding may signal anxiety about acceptance. When you're telling someone something, and they nod excessively, this means that they are worried about what you think of them, or that you doubt their ability to follow your instructions. On the other hand, frequent nodding could also be unconscious gestures that are cues for the other person to get a move on, just like when a person keeps looking at their watch. Number 10. Vocal inflection and intonation. Things such as your tone, pitch or manner of speaking, is a big component of nonverbal communication. Basically, it's a fancy way of saying that you need to pay attention to how someone says something. For example, if someone is answering you in monotone, they're most likely unattached to your concept and not interested. The use of sarcasm is another good example. When someone uses sarcasm, what the person means is actually the opposite of the words that they use. So pay attention to the emphasis they put on words and how they say it. It gives you a big clue as to what their true intentions are. Number 11. What they say. If you're meeting someone for the first time, and all they do is talk about their magnificent spouse or praise their friends, chances are, they're a pretty decent person themselves. Experts say that the more people rate others as being kind, polite, loving and well-mannered, the more likely they are to also possess these traits. However, the reverse is also true. Anyone backstabbing and describing others as manipulative and nasty is more likely to have these traits themselves. It's also possible that they have a history of depression or personality disorder. Number 12. Scratches chin. When someone is trying to make a decision, they tend to rub their chin. They might be looking up, down, or to the side. It's a sure sign that they are deep in thought. A clenched jaw is a sign of stress. Regardless of what the person is saying, this indicates a considerable level of discomfort. The conversation may be heading towards something they're anxious about, or their mind may be elsewhere, and they're focusing on the thing that's stressing them out. Number 13. Rubbing hands. It is believed that the hands broadcast what the head is thinking. When a person is rubbing their hands together, generally it means that they have a positive feeling about something. People usually do this when they are hopeful about something good coming up in the future, and they're excited about it. Number 14. Sideways squint. People that are warm and open to meeting you will have their body facing you and they will look you in the eye. On the flip side, if you've just met someone and they immediately glance away to the side, this is a subconscious body language sign that means they are looking for an escape.